I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're working on the Gourd Circle Christmas ornaments, and we're going to be doing different videos on showing you different ones, but we're starting out with the basics to show you what we're starting with. And we're going to take our circular saw and cut our pieces out of our gourd and then sand them down nice and flat on the back as well as we can. And what we decided to do, since a lot of you have a harder time making these, we've also done kits for you that are going to be available on my site. We're going to have a blue kit, and then we're also going to have a black kit for you as well. And what I used was leather pieces, leather strip, and leather backing, just so you can have a nice, crisp, clean ornament. And I'll explain the different materials as we're doing it as well, so if you have them at home that you can use your own. So let's get started. Alright, we're working on our Christmas tree ornament, and we're going to take a 2.5 inch gourd circle. A 3 inch would also be really good because it'd give you a bigger area to work with, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to heat this just a little so that the wax goes on a little bit smoother. Not too much this time because I actually want it to go on thicker as well. And I'm putting it on with a stipple brush. These we call MJ stipple brush. You can find them on our webpage. Use one to a color. Don't ever worry about trying to clean them out for different color. That way you can have several of them. And we're going to take butter, dandelion yellow, which looks like butter. And we're going to put on our background. And you can see by melting it, it just helps it spread out a little bit more, where if it's cold, you can see where it's starting to cool down, it's just going to kind of clump together. I'm going to smooth it all out now, and I'm using a heat gun, and I have my heat gun on a, this was actually a plant hook that held a plant. You could also, if you work with a Dremel or have any of those, you can use those hooks as well. And I've got to loop it again here. So it hangs about 4 inches up above it, and that's about the perfect height. If you want to know a little bit more about this, I call this my twice melted method, and I have some videos making jewelry pieces. You also could turn these into necklace pieces, jewelry pieces as well, so jump over and check those videos out. I also have different ones. I have like colorful animal print, some peacock feathers. You could make those as Christmas ornaments as well, so that would be a lot of fun. I'm letting this dry just a little bit because I actually want to do a second layer. You can see how uneven that color is, but it can't be warm or you're just going to kind of scratch it with your brush. In the summertime, I have a little fan that I blow. I heat it here and cool it here, heat and cool, and that is kind of nice, but I didn't pull it out since we are hitting in the teens this week. So let's see if we're cool enough to put a second layer on here. When you're working or making these designs, you need a color behind it that is not going to take away from your design, but is going to show it off. So I wouldn't use a dark color with the Christmas tree because your green is already dark enough. So let's heat that up one more time. I'm going to start on the outsides first. It'll take the longest to melt. These ornaments go together really, really fast. I'm doing about 6 or 7 of these Christmas ornaments, so come and check them all out. You'll have a tree full in no time. So I'm going to let that cool just a minute here. We're going to be using green crayons and yellow green for our Christmas tree. You also could do this with the side of your texture brush if you have enough control and do it up on the side. I like my texture brush. It has a lot of neat background texture, of course, to it. You can see when it's still shiny that it still needs to dry a little bit more. If we hit it with our stipple brushes right now, it's going to pick that wax up and kind of dent it. So we want it nice and cool before we start here. So think about how wide you want this. You don't want it too full. You want it kind of like a triangle shape. And I'm going to pounce the green off of the top of my melting pot. I'm not even going to go into the wax itself. I have enough up on top, and I'm going to test it because I don't want globs. I want it kind of separated. So we're kind of pouncing it onto our paper until we get the green that we want. I'm a little bit lighter than I want to be right now, and what I'm going to do is just make the shape and also the background of my Christmas tree. I'm going to pick up a little bit more. If you get a glob on there, pounce into it, and sometimes it'll separate that wax around a little bit more. But you can always put more on. It's better to have less than more. And we want layers. Now we're getting there. Have kind of a spot there that's not as wide as the top. And I'm going to set my tree up there anyway, so we're not going to quite worry about it. Okay, I'm going to come in with my green, yellow green. The way to know what crayon it is, if it's yellow green, the ending word is the main character of the color. So this is a green. Now if it was green yellow, it would be more of a yellow. I can't tell you how many years it took me to figure that one out. Alright, so we've got our basic tree shape here. And I'm going to put a star on top, and I think I'm going to try to do it with a glitter red. Glitter and metallic colors are really fun to work with this time of year. And I got that one last guy a little bit too long, but that's okay. And then we're going to give it some dots, and I'm going to put some blue dots in here, some other colors just besides the red. I want to make it more colorful. Alright, there's our little Christmas tree. I'm going to do one more red dot, and then we're going to get ready to finish him up. Now that our wax is cool, we're going to take our hobby knife and we're going to take off any wax on the sides. Remove all of that. Now it's going to be stained, so you're still going to be some color, so don't worry about that. We just want the wax off. Hopefully if you did it right, you shouldn't have a bunch of wax on there. Remember, if you don't like what you have and you melted it, just wipe it off and start all over. We're going to apply our Dimensional Magic. You can use a 3D lacquer on this, but I like the Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more durable over time. I like the 3D lacquer more for the Christmas bulbs. I think it's a little bit thinner. The first thing I want to do that most of you might not know is kind of a trick that I have used for a long time. I take my brush and I wet it, and then I dry it out. There's a couple of reasons that we do that. Now it's more pliable. It's not hard and stiff, but not only that is the Mod Podge doesn't have to absorb all the way in now, and it just works better. So I do that with a lot of things when I'm doing certain things, so it may be something to help you remember. Now, Mod Podge is made to go on jewelry and be nice and thick, and our gourds are always uneven, so we've got to apply it on with a brush, not just put it on and leave it. So the first thing I do is go around the edges, and I take my brush and I throw it at you, and we're going to get it up against the edges. Now you're not really pushing down, you're just spreading with your brush, doing that nice and even all the way around, and wipe off anything that gets onto the edges. You want to keep those nice and clear. And then we're going to come back and we're going to pour more of that. Now if we did it like you normally would and just fill it in, it would run off. I think I need just a tad bit more. So what we're actually doing with our brush, and you want a brush that is not coarse, you're just kind of moving it around and applying it more evenly to the piece. You shouldn't be able to see your brush strokes. If you can see your brush strokes, you don't have it on thick enough, and you do not want to over apply it. Once you put it on, you should just be able to see them kind of settle down. And I like to do 2 to 3 coats, and I'm going to set it on my dry board to dry. We do have dry boards in stock now. Clean off my Dimensional Magic and put that away. Miriam, some Miriam helped open it. Mother, no, not over stand on, yeah, really. You're that the girl that is before something. Her side feeder is able to say it. Your was your flugly fluffing it. And the sound you're so like it's on the surf. Now, man, he's up and access of the sound that I'll find. And I wish not see. Ma, her it's the night. I looks the line. Machine if you was not a soul that ear feeler. Healer, we don't have the sound that he produced. This now we're rid of the bullet. No, we lost. I'm not going to lost. He'll miss. I have this to a night. Looking it. Alright, that's done. No, we're never going to air. We're focused now. We're going to. No, and you can we rid of the world. Needle. Yes, they're going there. Enough, almost as near the view makes it. Here, feel around. Alright, and I deal with a shaking out, so as I get out. So we do it my way, sneeze, the me hours down the window. Yeah, but I'm with money. Hurry, and I'm gonna. Nice one. Self, and see. Rydw adl rydw self me snake and movies of the sort of as now we're originally switch fit there. Ja, net zelf. En Ursa. Oh, stuk en dan weer eventjes nou die. En niet echt doen. Frühstück ist dann mal nein, die Ufa, ich bin gerade raus, ich habe so, das war mir noch einfach und nein, das ist noch hoch herum, ist ich. Ja, ja, auf jede Lippe zum Ebel, was ist ich, sie zahl. Maar dat is de eerste, dat is sure. Nou, eerste, dat wordt toch veel in de zero zijn. Stil, die haast de laatste tussen. Nee, dan ben ik niet af, we gaan op salams. Ja, ook simpelst dan ben ik. Schamas, even we gewoon even zeg je. Ja, hoe is meneer, hier te zien in de jaren, is er meer wie ben ik. Alright, wel dan ben ik. Ja, we gaan met er meer wie, ben ik dan in de era. Right, well, yeah, we wish no orange. That's the other way out. So, and I'm like, alright, so this is the lamp. Yes, and I'm like, now, I'm gonna be in some lots of sky. That's the and our first is no use. And we in the over again. God bless somebody see, bro. Alright, so, and we touched the our. Dit nou weer net. Oh, ja. Zo, maar dan maar weer, maar we gaan met mij loer voor. Zo het nou. Oh, ja, nee. Ah, dit is wat lekker maar dan nee. Maar wel ja, net ja, nou dat. Hoe is nou weer? Mijn no, I'm sure that we're off my day. We're gonna go midnight. Yeah, I'm gonna really rinse this. Yes, you know, he absolutely right. The man you're saying, I'm one. Yes, they were on the list. Or fact, it was no we must need each little lamp making it. Hey, I'm fact, and if the ham is the cash to rob, hey, and he's the man to serve for him. No, see for the yeah, but I must right there. Here's some circle. That's what's almost got that. And I kind of said, yeah, it's there. Right, and then when follow all that, they're gonna have. Yeah, so then I go nothing. I said a little. Bring the said the song at there, and it's never bring it free. Yeah, that's no way. Ja, ik ga dat wel eens. Echt. Oh, is die wel, ja, helder, ben je dit eigenlijk? Oh, wat was dat ook? Dus nee, ik moet wel zo spelen met de maar nog goed. Oh, echt, mij is dit ook nee. Nee, ja, mag ik dus. Nog kaal, eigenlijk weer snel. Dus oh, ja, ik ga het heel nee. Oh, dan al weer wel. Ja, ik was dat kaal. Zit niet. Dus niet precies weer de lava, maar die viel aan. Nou, zie weer de lamp op. En dan was ik dus nee, het is nu nog zo, maar er een mag kunnen praten. Nee. Rolf, naar het essen. Was, en dan die is er graag niet echt. Sorry. Heerlijk, maar ik heb eerlijk gezegd. Ik wil er gehaald. Dus de er niet besneeuwen voor me. Hurry, en mag er zijn. Wunsch met een wie wat hij los. Ja, we waren last week with the girl was there. Veel zich zijn wunsch met dit. Er staan was heel zich Erlach, als weer veel zich ja, shift laat maar voor de is nou zo voor die willen die zus nou ja, zeker zijn wunsch met dus nou.